حملتنا في دوري الأبطال لم تسر كما أردنا لها كما كانت عليه في السنوات الأخيرة. لم نتمكن من اللعب بالمستوى الذي أردناه، بالتالي كان فوزا مهما جدا.
الجوع حصريا على بي سبورتس 5. السبت حصريا على بي سبورتس 5. الأحد حصريا على بي سبورتس 5.
De ser el mejor club en nuestra liga a ser el mejor club de Europa, de ser la selección más grande de Europa a ser la mejor del mundo. Yo estuve ahí, lo sentí, lo viví. En el fútbol hay 11 jugadores en el campo, pero hay millones más que nos apoyan en todo el mundo. Y hay un solo lugar para verlo y sentirlo todo. La experiencia de vivir todo el mundo del fútbol solo en Bein Sports.
الدوري الإسباني. الجوع حصريا على بي سبورتس 3. السبت حصريا على قنوات بي سبورتس. الأحد حصريا على قنوات بي سبورتس. الدوري الإيطالي. الجوع حصريا على بي سبورتس 4. السبت حصريا على بي سبورتس 4. الأحد حصريا على قنوات بي سبورتس.
Manchester, a bustling city of over 500,000 people and famed across the globe for its 2 football teams. It is a place that means a lot to me. It was my home for 3 years. I think in this city I really developed the love for football. If it means so much to me, I can only imagine what it means to Vincent Kompany. 10 years and a haul of 12 trophies. This man was at the forefront of making Manchester City what they are now.
13 years ago was the first time that we played against each other. And not long after that, we became teammates at our first club together in Hamburg.
But let us talk a little bit about the history. We've been playing together, but
it was not like that before. We played against each other in the youth teams. He was as an Anderlecht player, me as an Ajax player.
I won.
I'm not about to say that, so no, but it was always good times, you know. And then, obviously, we came back together in Hamburg. So describe the time that you were making the transition from Anderlecht to Hamburg.
No, look, I just remember my first sight actually of a Hamburg player was you, because you were injured and you were training on your own, and I must have arrived. I need to do some individual work, and you were there training, and you know, straight away, obviously, a lot of people talking Dutch. But we were not allowed to speak Dutch with each other, so we had to speak German. So for the first year we spoke German
straight away,
to each other. And it was a good time. So young. I think you were already a little bit ahead in terms of being professional and ready for this kind of. I came in and I was doing all the mistakes, and I was paying for every mistake I was making.
I remember that. I remember you came in straight away, claimed number 10. As a defender. I mean, that's the first mistake a young player can make. Is this claim number 10 number. Coming with all kinds of stuff around your wrist, you had your hair in all kinds of different shapes, and I was like, who the hell is this guy? Who this guy comes in here and just think that he's gonna just change the whole club? But what you said before as well is you made your mistakes.
All of
good
them.
Times. You know, we had some good times, we had some bad times. Obviously, also, you know, battling relegation. But how was the transition for you as being a Hamburg player and knowing the culture in Germany, because it formed you to come to England, to Manchester?
No, look, I was in Germany and I felt it was too hard. Like I could never be a footballer and be a good footballer would be enough. You have to be good at doing this, you have to come on time for everything, which, you know, now I respect the value of this, but at the time, you know, if you didn't wear the right shirt, if you had a hat on, anything you like punish, and what's the punishment? You don't play. So it was just too hard for me in the beginning. But then I came to England and I was like, hey, it's a little bit too relaxed. So it doesn't have to be like Germany, but it doesn't have to be like City was when you arrived as well.
Yeah.
We didn't know at the time, but we were going to be part of a football revolution. But from our first impressions at Manchester City, it couldn't be further from our minds. The club has developed into a powerhouse on the world stage. But at the beginning,
I think we can share that same memory. The first time you came to the old training ground, Carrington. You must have thought like, where did I end up? Like, is this gonna be the culture that we are in right now?
Yeah, you know, Terminator, when he goes with this kind of saw and he throws it and all the meat falls on the floor, you know, that's what the gym was like before, you know, just it was to hang meat. It was cold, it was but the club had, for me, it had its own identity. I know a lot of people from the outside said, hey, this is wrong, this is this, but I never felt so comfortable because everybody was, you know, happy with anything they were getting. You know, as soon as I came in and I was kind of pushing for a little bit more professionalism, which was the opposite of what I was at Hamburg. People were really taking to it, and we created this kind of group, and you were part of it when you arrived just, I think, 6 months later.
6 months later,
And Joe Hart was part of it, Lesker was part of it, Micah was part. Well, actually, we were trying to push Micah.
We were trying to push Micah.
But I think the club that exists today is because in those days we held strong. We had to make sure that one way or another, it was a new club for us, but we tried to make sure that the club was bigger than the players, I think anyway. And we're trying to do the right thing for the team. And this club would not have achieved what he achieved if we didn't hold strong in those days. Because anything could happen, you were there.
Yeah, I know. You know, the fundament was so important to lay down, because at that time, you know, people have to understand, Manchester City was not the Manchester City fund how it is nowadays. You know, we created something, the fundamentals, to become a successful team. And of course that comes with ups and downs, and it comes with a lot of old stuff, and it comes with a lot of problems with it. But I think what really got me is the fact that when I came in, what you said, the same thing was the atmosphere, the chemistry that we had as a team. Not only at the players, it was the staff,
it was the board, it was the kit men chatting, it was the people working on the ground.
It was just fun.
It was just fun, and I think because of the fun, we could play football in a good way. And it took some time, and of course there came a lot of other players with it. But for me, it was really important that the fundamental was there. And let's talk about a little bit about the memories, the dressing room, because I think a lot of people want to know also a little bit about the memories in the dressing room. Who you saw in that time as the biggest, I would say, clown. I would say the biggest joker at that time.
You take the dressing room, if I consider Chappie, the kid man, as part of the dressing room, then it was him. And very soon after came Brandon, who was like the disciple of Chappie. It's like everything Chappie does, he makes it even worse. But it was just so many, you know. Shoni was like a clown in his own way. Harry was a clown, you know, and I never expected Hardy to become such a leader. So the last year with Hardy, which you played with as well, he made a transition from being a clown to being a leader, you know. I think in your first year as well, Casper was still there, and it was just a young team full of energy, and yeah, even the under 21s we had like communing bathrooms. So we'd be separate dressing rooms, but the bathrooms of the under 21s and the first team, it was just all sorts happening, and it was fun. And the biggest thing with City, I have to be honest, was the pressure from every transfer window, you know, change is happening. Every 6 months. No excuse, no, you know, you can have fun in the meantime. If you have too much fun, you will be replaced. And I think that's what, there was no pressure from the outside really, playing for City. There was no pressure from the outside, it was all from the inside. And to deal with this, I think you had to be very strong mentally, because you didn't get time.
No.
But that's what made the club so big, is because, you know, consistently as well, the club has tried to back the players who were, you know, always performing, and for whatever reasons you left for your reasons, but the club would always back people that were doing this, you know. So when they decided to say to you like, okay, you know, Nigel, we want you to stay, you had your own reasons to go, but they were always backing a certain type of people.
True.
And now you look back and I'm watching Koen, I'm watching David, and what they've achieved, you know.
It's unbelievable. Wow. Not only them, I mean, you've been in force for 10 years, you know. I mean, you've been Captain Fantastic. We called you different names. We called you Professor. We called you President Obama.
I was a professor in Hamburg already.
Professor in Hamburg already. Always knowing everything. Always want to have the last word. Always thought you were the best in everything when it comes down to the discussions that we had. I remember the times that we traveled on game days, but even the day before the games, that you always had 5 books like that.
Yeah, oh my God.
Everybody was like, what are you doing? Business management, I think it was economic books, it was all kinds of stuff. But
yeah, people were throwing books at my head.
Exactly, like stop it, man. Just
hey, what are you doing?
And we were there playing Nintendo DS, Mario Kart, and he was just serious in the back, like, leave me alone. I try to be serious. I try to become something.
For decades, Manchester City was in the shadows of Manchester United, their big rivals from the other side of town. And for decades, the fans could only look Manchester United lifting trophy after trophy. And then we go back to the moment of 2012.
Balotelli! Aguero! Staggering! Just staggering! He's won the league with 90 seconds of stoppage time to play!
Let's talk a little bit about 2012. I mean, it was the first one of the of many trophies you won.
Yeah.
Take us back to that day. You remember what happened. Everybody knows what happened, and everybody hear the stories from different kind of angles and different kind of players. But when you were on the pitch, what was that feeling that you had when Sergio scored that last goal, and what was that momentum that was going through your head?
Probably the same feeling as you. I was so grateful, man. Today I still watch him, I still look at him, and he could come in 20 years with a belly like this and say, hey, thank you, man. Just thank you, because I don't know what would have happened if he didn't score that goal. And the emotion when he scores a goal is one thing, But if you go back through the moment of what happens if it doesn't score the goal, it just still scares the hell out of me today. I don't know how you feel about it, but
I
it's,
had the same. I mean, you know, the excitement and the tension that came off when he scored that goal was just amazing. The electricity that was in the stadium, you know, watching the fans, and you know, you piled on me, I piled on you, and we just like this, almost crying at each other. You know, like, oh, we finally did it after 32 years, was it? Yeah. So it was just an amazing feeling.
The irrepressible leader of the gang, Vincent Kompany, a captain's captain if ever there was one.
Vincent is a different kind of player. He is a natural leader, intelligent, a motivator. He is the driving force of the team. His career has been blighted by injuries, but despite this, he has battled on, bounced back, and led his team to victory.
One of the things for me is very important to let the viewers know as well is you as a person thinks always ahead, 2 steps ahead of a lot of other players, and that makes you great as well. In the setup towards the game now, or towards you being a player, do you do anything different nowadays than that you did 10, 15 years ago?
no, slightly adapted every year.
Yeah.
So my feeling or theory about it is you should always try and put yourself in the same situations as what you did when you were successful, not just one time but consistently. And so I just try to improve on that and put myself in the same situation as when I played my best games. Mentally as well I need it, because my biggest weakness was always the easy games. I would always switch off and I wouldn't be as prepared. So now I know easy games are my weaknesses. So I focus even more for easy games. And this kind of stuff. But you know what? The essence of it all is just whatever you are, is just stay driven. If you stay focused on winning and being part of something special, and every single time I've ahead of you I can win, then you have a chance. I mean, I can use the best example. This is a good example. Last year I was injured and I was with Delphi, I think, doing my rehab. And we had 2 opposing views. He was saying, you know, it's the end for him. And I was saying, you know, and I'm the one who had the short contract, right? It was my last contract. And I knew it was going to be tough, but I said, look, nobody wins the prize in October. Nobody. I said, if you believe in it, you can still come back and score the winning goal on the last day of the season, and you'll be the hero. And everything else doesn't matter. And I kept repeating myself whenever I was injured in January again after the Liverpool game, and I said, I'm gonna do something special. And then I score a goal, and Nige, you've never seen me score a goal like this.
No way.
You know.
Kompany had a look, had a hit! Oh! Captain Fantastic! A goal from his wildest dreams!
I was in front of the television. I was like, wait, oh, I was in the studio. The television was in the studio. I was like, I mean, we got a picture right here. I mean, that is just unbelievable. That's just let me just add a hit. I mean, this is Vincent Kompany.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Before. It didn't make any sense.
No.
To himself, but even to his former teammates.
And Nige was one of the guys in Hamburg telling me, Vinny, stop shooting from so far. Stop.
Because you shot it out of the stadium and they were looking for the ball for like at least two weeks.
And I must have said it to you, I don't know if you remember, I always said one day I'm going to take a shot from that distance and everybody's going to be happy. And I've said it for consistently, and in the beginning of the season I was just looking and I said it doesn't look good, you know, Laporte is playing really well, and our team is a machine anyway. So John Stone's playing well, Laporte's playing well, Otamendi playing well. I'm injury prone, and I have a short-term contract. I'm 33, so you know, in terms of long-term future, no manager will back a player who's on his exit. But I kept saying, you know, my experience shows me if I keep going consistently, something will happen. I don't know what, something will happen. And I was just fortunate, you know, even the Chelsea game was a tough one for me because it was the first final where I didn't start. Chelsea, Carabao League Cup final. But Laporte got injured after 45 minutes and then we go into extra time. and I end up playing nearly 90 minutes, and I end up lifting that trophy again. Then we go FA Cup, and we go Premier League, and by the end of it, I was a big part of making the team successful.
Jeune. Hein? Ouais, si. On regrette chercher.